bitch,
Mami murmured, sotto voce.
Fuck. Shit. Crap.
Trotting next to her, Midori asked,
Are you still trying to get this story demonetized?
No, at this point I'm just venting. And starting to understand why the power-mad book pony hates this time of year.
And this is nothing compared with the previous Aprils.
Pinkie Pie grinned.
We haven't even had an impromptu song number about sandwiches made from unmentionable bodily discharges yet.
Fuck!
Mami hissed.
Fuck. If anyone starts singing about sperm hot dogs or menstrual milkshakes, I quit.
Pinkie Pie opened her mouth.
Pinks, do not make that joke. I'm warning you. I can already tell what joke you want to make. And I'm telling you, do not make that joke.
Dash warned. Pinkie Pie shut her mouth.
Spoil sport!
How are you okay with making lewd jokes, but not with me cussing?
Because.
That's not an answer.
Is so.
Is not.
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 Is so.
Aren't canon characters supposed to be well-rounded, developed, interesting, and not annoying?
Mami gritted.
Oh, I'm getting such a migraine.
I'm sure we'll find them soon.
Midori tried to soothe her.
Yeah, about that. Are we coming up with a plan like Steve suggested, or are we literally just gonna wing it when we find them?
Well, the way I figure it,
Said Cloudy from where she was riding Steve's back like an ancient, slightly squelchy Valkyrie, her legs still too wobbly to walk on.
if we could just get Magpie or Scribbler free, they can use their magical author powers to fix everything. Like they did before. Simple.
Yeah, simple.
Rainbow Dash didn't invest her tone with much conviction.
Well, it worked every other time. I don't see why it wouldn't now, too.
Panda murmured in a wash of vocal hellfire that absolutely did not compute with her cutesy-wootsy appearance.
And won't be tired and get in my way.
Nice plan, my dear, but a little scarce on the details.
Trilled Steve.
Which way now, Pinks?
At Dash's question, Pinkie's hair sproinged to the left.
This way! Oh, super, we're almost there! I can feel it!
Great.
Wonderful, my dear.
I'm coming, Goomy.
I will have blood.
Panda, use your inside voice.
Bitch.
Mami looked behind them.
Does anyone think it's weird that Thornquill knows we're here and hasn't chased us, or...
Pinkie Pie opened the door marked Library.
anything? Holy cockwaffles.
Everyone stared. And stared. And stared some more. And then, just for variety, they stared some more.
Okay,
Mami swallowed her suddenly dry throat.
we may be absolutely fucked.
And not in the good way.
Pinks, not the time.
As I suspected. There was no need for me to chase you when you're all so brainless. You made your way right to where I wanted you.
As one, the entire group jumped in the air and turned around, which resulted in a slippery, slidey sort of thump from Steve and a yelp from Cloudy on his back. Thornquill stood in the doorway, resplendent in his dictatorial decorations and wreathed in a corona of purplish-black magic that made everyone's fur puff out like angry but strangely adorable cats.
I hate this author.
Mami murmured, patting down the yellow chest fuzz that was now obscuring her vision.
Time to be booked.
Thornquill's horn flashed.
Wait!
Pinkie's screech was enough to bring even him to a stop.
This isn't how it's supposed to go!
What?
To be perfectly honest, Thornquill's expression of befuddlement, which was at the complete odds of his evil villain headgear, was so adorable that a few pigeons on the roof fell off from the sheer sense of, aww.
You're supposed to moan like your plan to us and tell us what's going on, and fill in all the blanks so that the audience who haven't been following the story closely enough, or just had it open in another window whilst they did other stuff online, are able to appreciate the big final confrontation!
Thornquill blinked.
No.
Thanks!
Rainbow whooshed into the line of fire. Moments later, a cyan book flopped to the floor, still crackling with speed force, or whatever that magic that makes her go fast is. The multicolored font reading Rainbow Dash glowed for a moment before locking into place. Pinkie Pie burst into tears.
Rainbow! This isn't how things are supposed to go!
I'm an author. You really think I'm going to adhere to cliches that will blatantly ruin my plans? I'm not Syndrome.
Can we, get a jet engine in here to suck that cloak of yours into?
Every pony scatter!
Mami tackled a still-crying Pinkie Pie and dodge-rolled behind a bookcase.
This isn't how it's supposed to go! This isn't how it's supposed to go!
Call it a subversion of expectations.
Thornquill grinned.
Have you read Heteropaternal Superfecundation? I'm good at those.
I don't even know what those words mean!
Neither do most of my readership, but they still upvoted it 78-3.
I'm sorry, but are we seriously having this conversation right now? Thornquill, let every pony go already. This is beyond a joke.
And who are you again?
The click of hooves against stone slabs made Mami retreat further into the teeming stacks, dragging Pinkie Pie behind her.
Because it seems to me like this is very much the B team since, I already took out every pony else.
Your competence as an unexpectedly, pants-shittingly scary villain is not up for debate.
Good.
Oh!
There was a flash and a cry from Steve, followed by a particularly heavy thump of book bindings.
Because there is no debate.
Steve!
Cloudy cried.
You didn't even get to serve any narrative purpose. Was the author asleep at the wheel when she wrote you into this story? Whoa! Falling! Ouch!
Big Sister Cloudy.
Get away, Panda!
Oh, how cute.
Thornquill laughed. It sounded like something out of a nightmare and made everyone, including the author, wonder when and why the narrative decided to turn so legitimately dark all of a sudden.
Sisterly protectiveness. Unfortunately, it won't save you.
Get behind me, Panda.
No, you get behind me.
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 No, you.
And now it's annoying.
Mami peeped out in time to see Cloudy ignite her own horn and throw a bookcase at Thornquill. And she took the opportunity to grab Panda and make a mad dash for cover, since he was between them and the exit. Thornquill emerged a half-second later, books exploding off of him like something from a Madhouse anime action scene.
I'd be careful throwing these books around. They are, after all, your friends and family.
What the fuck?
Mami fumbled as a book bound in black leather and bedecked with pink and blue text skidded to her feet. It was labeled Scribbler. Possessed of sudden desperate hope, she grabbed and opened it to find half the pages empty and the other half filled with neatly typed print detailing the life and times of a fanfic author and narrator that culminated with her hiding in a hotel room in Trottingham before being ambushed and turned into a book.
Fuckedness.
Mami? Is that you reading me?
The words appeared across the page in a scribble of magic. Mami blinked.
Yeah?
Holy shit, what the bloody hell are you doing here?
Well, the plan was me, Midori, Panda, Cloudy, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, and Stephen Magnet, for some reason, coming to save you guys, but,
Mami looked over her shoulder to the still sniveling Pinkie Pie. Somewhere else in the stacks, Thornquill chuckled.
It kind of all went to Tartarus in a tube top, and now the plan is just to not die.
That sounds depressingly familiar for April.
Tell me about it. Next year, I am totally vacationing for this entire fucking month.
Tried that, didn't work. Now I'm a sentient book.
Is everyone who got transformed sentient?
Yep. Can't talk, move, or do anything remotely useful, and we're all trapped on shelves in alphabetical order, but we're still capable of thought and emotions, and we can hear everything going on around us. We just can't do anything about it.
Sweet Celestia, that is excessively horrifying! Who knew the greatest legitimately terrifying threat Equestria would ever face would be Thornquill?
I know, right?
Hey Scribs, it's fun chatting and all, but what the bitch-tinning fuck are we supposed to do now? How do we stop Thornquill's mad rampage?
If I knew that, do you think I'd be a sentient book right now?
Scribbler's outrage was indicated by the sudden introduction of bold text that glittered faintly at the edges.
Fucking touche.
Mami grumbled.
Cygnus alicornified Thornquill in the first place, though Thorny turned on him, so I think at this point he's already paying a high price for his fuckery. Maybe he'll know how to stop him.
And where is Cygnus now?
Shelved under cosmic horror.
Mami looked up to see the aisles of Thornquill's library had all been helpfully signposted by genre. Of course, horror just happened to be on the other side of the whole room. Because, of course it was.
Take me with you!
Tucking Scribbler's book under one wing, Mami entreated Pinkie Pie to stay put and started trying to ninja her way along the bases of the bookshelves. The problem with being a bright lemon-colored horse, however, is that it makes ninjaing incredibly difficult as you tend to stand out like a lemming drowning in a vat of molasses.
Found you.
Thornquill hummed.
Fucking fucksticks on toast!
She turned a corner on a hairpin curve. Thornquill's blast of magic hit where her hind hooves had been milliseconds before.
Guys, if any of you are listening, Scribbler says to find Cygnus's book.
Mami shouted at the top of her lungs.
Cosmic horror, hurry!
On it!
Cloudy shouted.
I'll teleport to it.
No, big sister, you already used too much magic.
Cloudy's response was to totally ignore Panda and teleport anyway.
Got it!
She yelled, before passing out and falling on her face again.
Wow. You certainly are the B team, aren't you?
Thornquill snickered, appearing next to her. Cloudy's outline flickered. A green line of magic traveled up her exhausted body, enveloping it in a sickly fire and revealing the truth beneath.
You're a changeling? Wow. That's such a cliched pony-sona, I'd swear it's 2012.
He bent to pluck the Stygian black book from her nerveless grasp.
You leave my big sister alone, you big duty head.
Something glowing with iridescent purple fire cannoned into him, slamming him backwards into the wall. A Thornquill-shaped indentation added itself to the library's already gothic decor. He grunted, looking up at the suddenly much taller pony looming over the prone unicorn.
I will flay your flesh from your bones and consume your still dripping viscera. I will rip your heart from your chest, crush it in my hook, and drink your still warm lifeblood from it. I will pull your lungs out through your neck and eat them raw.
You're a changeling too?
Thornquill coughed.
But wait, changelings don't eat meat.
The thing that was once Panda grinned, revealing serrated fangs and a forked tongue. Her glowing eyes did not stop glaring hatefully at him.
We're a fan-created subspecies of changeling, dingus. We don't follow normal rules.
Oh, great. Just fucking great. Also, Duty Head, is that seriously the best you could come up with?
Panda's reply was an unearthly howl and a blast of her own magic from her newly revealed horn. Thornquill, in true anime villain style, unleashed his own raw magical blast, and the two bright, brilliant beams of beautiful, bull-headed brute force clashed in a spangly smash of fireworks, knocking them both backwards. Both dug their hooves in so hard that the slabs beneath them cracked and fractured, sending up pieces of stone so sharp they smashed a few of the stained glass windows. Mami was thrown backwards by the backblow of wind.
An anime fight! This author seriously wrote in an anime fight! What the actual fuck?
Scribbler's book fell to the floor, pages flipping wildly. More books fell around her, lines of screamed curses scrawling across their pages in silent terror. Mami caught sight of a few as she tried to stop herself from becoming street pizza.
Goody, this is still your fucking fault!
That's it. Thorny is totally off my hearth-swarming card list this year.
My precious golden babies!
Ah!
Mami lost her grip on the floor and went spinning into a plinth, which smashed over her head.
Ah!
That's it. I officially hate you all. I hate all of this, and I especially hate the entire fucking concept of April 1st and how it has made me its butt monkey.
Yes!
Thornquill gave a yell, putting on an extra burst, and slammed Panda to the ground in the magical equivalent of a headlock. He rounded on Mami, eyes wild.
Yes!
He cried with the kind of uninhabited joy that could have stripped chrome from steel.
Finally! Some pony who gets it!
What?
He stalked towards her, causing her to scramble backwards on her butt so fast a plume of smoke rose from her singed fur.
This time of year! It's awful! So damn awful! It's enough to drive a pony mad! Don't you agree?
He loomed, smile stretching literally from ear to ear, pupils mere pinpricks. Mami, transfixed like a deer in headlights, struggled to respond in some way that would diffuse the situation in the safest manner possible. The only trouble was that being stared down by a deranged alicorn with the power to turn you into a sentient book and keep you in his library for the rest of your painful, unholy existence has the side effect of evicting every single piece of dialogue from your brain with the psychological equivalent of a flamethrower. And so Mami, fumbling for something to say, fell back on her old and trusted friend.
Bitch?
Words appeared in Scribbler's book.
Well, bollocks.
Thornquill roared in outrage.
This is not how it's supposed to go!
Which was when Pinkie Pie dropped between him and Mami like a neon bullet.
You're not doing it right!
She yelled through her tears.
I refuse to let the literary cycle dictate what I do!
Thornquill screamed back. With a zing and a pop, a sugary pink book smacked onto the pile, dislodging a green one with red and silver edgings. It slid down the pile with what could only be described as a sad plop, coming to rest on a gray paperback emblazoned with a soundbar cutie mark.
Papa Goody!
Panda shrieked. She struggled to get to her feet, only to be held down even firmer by Thornquill's rampant magic.
Get your
paws off my sister!
Cloudy slurred groggily.
You are all so annoying!
Thornquill snarled.
All I wanted was some peace and quiet at this time of year. But could I get it? No. You creatures couldn't let me have that one simple thing. It's always the same! Every April it's the same, and I am sick of it! I am sick of being the butt of everyone's jokes! I am sick of being dragged into these stupid, immature, ridiculous shenanigans! Over and over. Just for once, I wanted peace and quiet for April, and to not be its butt monkey. Well, if you won't give me peace and quiet voluntarily...
His horn flashed twice, and Cloudy and Panda vanished, replaced by bookish versions of themselves.
I'll just take peace and quiet by force!
You absolute cockhead!
Mami hurled a piece of the broken plinth at him.
You shit-brained, pencil-dicked, arrogant fucktit!
He spun to face her.
And as for you...
Oh boy.
Mami braced herself, grabbing the first thing that came to hoof and holding it in front of her like a shield.
After what you said, I thought maybe you'd understand.
Thornquill thundered.
But apparently not. And so you can join them.
Enough! The voice that boomed through the ruined library was not a pony voice. It was not even a changeling voice. It whirled and swirled and created an audio vortex that drove into their ears and demanded they pay attention in a way Mami hoped to never hear again. So, of course, it spoke again a second later.
Put my Goomy down!
Midori?
Mami squinted myopically.
Is that you?
An ankh necklace on a broken chain clattered to the floor, followed swiftly by a large body. Gigantic paws, each as big as a pony, braced themselves against the impact, claws unsheathed. The powerful muscles that bunched and writhed in absolute fury were only slightly less terrifying than the gargantuan feline head and its rows of jagged fangs and angrily spread wings. One of the paws swiped out, snatching the green book Mami had been using as a shield out of her hooves. Thornquill's jaw dropped.
A sphinx? They're supposed to be extinct!
His brows drew together.
This shitty time of year strikes again! Ugh!
I try to be nice. I really do. I try to be understanding and considerate. I can forgive a lot of things. But you, Thornquill, you really take the cake. You've done the absolute unforgivable.
The giant green sphinx leaned forward.
You hurt my Goomy, and you made Pinkie cry.
Ah!
Thornquill threw raw magic at her. She brushed it aside with the wave of her paw.
You think puny pony magic can affect me when I'm like this?
He fired off the book spell. She caught it in midair, turned it into a neat glowing bow tie, and threw it back at him. He leapt aside, letting the remains of the plinth become a gray tome labeled, "Plinths Have Feelings Too."
You complain and whine and moan and gripe and bellyache and kvetch and whinge about wanting ponies to not drag you into April shenanigans. But look around you, Thornquill. You caused all the shenanigans this year. No pony else was doing anything even remotely shenanigan-y until you came along and caused the chaos you hate so much. You have literally become what you hate most.
He froze.
What?
He said in a small voice.
You're the one perpetuating a cycle of shenanigans. Is that really what you wanted?
But... But they... No, of course not.
Then why the Jesus mothering fuck did you transform half of Equestria into books and stuff them in your library? Was that really necessary? Really? Because it seems like overkill to me. Could you not have, I don't know, created a pocket dimension with blackjack and hookers and put the other narrators into it on a vacation for a few days? Or sent them off to Disneyland for a long weekend? You're an alicorn now, somehow. There had to be other options than torturing everyone by turning them into self-aware paperbacks!
Thornquill suddenly sounded on the verge of tears.
Some of them are hardbacks.
Seeing a slavering sphinx's expression suddenly melt into something akin to motherliness was an odd experience, Mami thought.
Come on now, Thornquill. It's time to put this right.
Put it... You mean... put everything back to normal?
A strange light ignited deep in Thornquill's eyes. Mami did not like the look of it one bit.
Revert things to the status quo? No character growth? No lasting change? Just back to the way things were, like always?
Well, that's not quite how I would have put it.
Mami clapped her hooves on her ears at Thornquill's unholy, wordless screech. She instinctively curled into a ball as the blast of raw, unmitigated, furious power that radiated off him sent a radius of crushing wind towards her and everything else in the room.
Oh, crap. Not again.
She slammed into the bookshelf, several books following suit, making her look like a really bad Nightmare Night costume of The Joy of Reading. Her view of Midori and Thornquill squaring off against each other was obscured by a book that splayed across her face.
We are not living in an 80s cartoon where everything gets reset at the end and nobody remembers the lessons they should have learned. Lessons must be learned!
Well then call me teacher, because I'm about to school your ass.
Ugh, Midori. That was an awful pun.
Mami grunted, pulling the book off her face and dropping to her hooves as the wind abruptly died and the sounds of a Sphinx on Alicorn battle erupted. She watched for a few seconds, genuinely flummoxed as to what to do.
Bitch. I am so not cut out to be the heroic type.
The book in front of her glimmered briefly.
Are any of us, really?
Mami glanced at the cover.
Fuck a duck. Cygnus! Scribbler said you'd know how to stop all this madness?
If I knew how to stop it, do you think you'd be bending my spine and bunching my pages the way you are right now? Also, stop doing that. I'm a library book. You have to take better care of me.
Oh, bitch tits.
It strikes me that you don't actually need me to do anything, however.
Say what?
Overhead, Midori yowled and Thornquill let loose a barrage of thunderbolts that made the whole castle shudder. If they weren't careful, they were going to bring down the whole place, with Mami and the booked-out ponies still inside.
Well, you're an artist, aren't you?
Not sure how you know that, but yes. And that helps me not be killed or transformed and consigned to a living hell of being a sentient book. How?
As Master of the Archives, I know a great many things, my dear. Like the power of meta-logic, for example.
What?
And the magic of creativity in a world where the authorial power of the written word can, and has, saved the day. Don't you think an artist might have some degree of sway in that sort of world?
Well, fuck me. But I don't have my equipment or anything.
I refuse to believe you don't have at least one pencil on you.
Well, yeah.
She shuffled her wings and a few fell out.
But they're not good equipment. They're just my emergency pencils.
And this doesn't count as an emergency?
Midori ripped off a balcony and hit Thornquill with it. It exploded in a shower of bricks and burned wood. It was the most spectacular off-screen battle Equestria had ever not witnessed.
Touché. Also, you're kind of a smug asshole, aren't you?
Every pony forgives me because of the voice.
Yeah, I can understand that. First time I heard you, I turned straight for a few seconds. It was weird.
Thornquill blasted Midori through a wall and flew out after her.
If I may be so bold as to suggest you hurry the fuck up.
But I don't have any paper!
Mami realized in that moment that rolling one's eyes could be implied so hard it made her own eyeballs twitch.
Fine. But when you end up covered in doodles, remember, this was your idea.
Quickly, Mami began to draw on Cygnus's book. It was the work of a moment to etch an angry Thornquill in full regalia in flight above the rough penciled wreckage of the library. Then, very carefully, she rubbed out his horn.
What the hell?
She heard him shout from outside. She added a ball and chain to each of his hooves.
Ah! What is going on here? What did you do?
Me? I'm not doing this.
With a few quick strokes of her pencil, she added a cage around him.
Where did this cage come from?
Out of sheer shit-posting temptation, she added flowery garlands and a few ribbons to the bars. Then a sign saying, "Do not feed."
Okay, now you're just taking the piss.
Seriously, I'm not doing this.
The external threat temporarily stymied, she turned her attention to the interior of the library, sketching out 4 panels and roughly depicting the image of a book morphing into a pony. The odd slurping sound made her look up.
What in the name of all that is holy just happened? I feel like I just vomited up a dictionary, then ate it again, then vomited it back up.
Hi, Scribbler.
Mami?
Can't talk. Busy saving the day.
Mami sketched out more boxes. More slurping noises ensued.
I'm me again. Hello, me. Mwah, 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 mwah.
I feel like you've made this joke before, dude.
Papa Goody!
Mama Luna!
My babies! My dear, sweet, demonic babies! Shit fuckering titties! Where's Thornquill? I'm gonna fucking murder him!
Just Ree!
Mag! We're getting rid of every fucking book we own in our home, okay?
Is that Midori's Ankh on the floor? Oh boy.
Thanks! Dashy!
Finally, Mami pushed mane from her eyes and shook out her foreleg, looking out at the suddenly very full library. Pitch, Rainbow Dash, Panda, and Luna hovered above the chuntering, milling crowd of earth ponies and unicorns. There was much hugging, some kissing, and smattering of just plain sitting down to take stock of what the hell was going on.
2 more to go.
Oh, it's a party!
Steve cried, clapping his hands joyously.
Did we save the day? Is it time to celebrate now?
The narrators looked up like a sea of puppies watching a ball be raised for a good throw.
There's a sea monster.
Caitbug deadpanned.
And Luna is hugging a couple of changeling queens, and we're in a busted-ass castle surrounded by books named after Bronies I swear I follow on Twitter. What the fuck happened while we were out?
Do you really want the answer to that question?
Chaotic asked. She thought for only a moment.
Nope.
Some pony get me out of here!
The thin yell from outside caused everyone to still as though someone had hit a giant pause button on the universe.
No pony get in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill him!
Lost growled.
Get in line.
Panda growled.
His liver is mine. I'm going to eat it with a nice Chianti and some fava beans.
You're too young to drink, Panda.
Luna chastised.
Every pony slow the fuck down!
Mami barked. And to their credit, something in her tone caused them all to absolutely slow the fuck down.
Cygnus, I've got a little bit of page left. I'm gonna use it to do something a bit crazy.
Be my guest, dear. Crazy is subjective these days.
Touché.
Mami paused.
I gotta stop saying that.
She swiftly filled the remaining corner of Cygnus's book with a sketchy but recognizable sight. A glowing portal opened above them.
Yay! We're free! We're free!
Oh, but I was just one DVD away from finishing the whole box set.
Oh, yeah!
Fine. Rachel was annoying anyway.
A resonant sigh presaged the beating of wings, and two familiar alicorns appeared through the portal.
Never fear, the alicorn army is here. Well, some of us. Wherever here is?
Starry looked around.
You all seem to have been rather busy since we saw you last,
said Ilya lugubriously.
Don't start! We've had such a fucking day.
Lost snarled. Wuten opened his mouth.
Don't you even, Wuten!
Scribbler snapped. Wuten, thinking better of it under the circumstances, shut his mouth. Mami got to her hooves, tucking her nubbed pencil behind her ear and trotted forward.
Hi there, MamiDulugo. Nice to finally meet y'all. Could you perhaps fly me outside so I can finish saving the day and shit?
Ilya and Starry exchanged a look.
Just do as she says.
Scribbler massaged her temples.
She's the reason we're all ponies again instead of cheap paperback fiction.
Okay, so getting the story behind that comment later, but for now...
Starry ignited her horn and levitated Mami through the gap in the wall, flying beside her with her mouth agape.
Ilya, there's a giant green cat creature out here.
It's called a sphinx, Starry dear.
And Thornquill is in a cage.
I can see that.
And that castle behind us is made of books.
Mm-hmm.
So very getting the full story later.
Mami pointed.
Oh, set me down here, please. And, stand by in case you need to get all lasery with your horns.
Thornquill raged in his bonds as they descended.
You!
Yeah, me. Hi. I don't think we were actually ever introduced. MamiDulugo, artist and shitposter extraordinaire. That's Midori, Goombasa's girlfriend, and apparently ancient creature of legend that every pony thought had died out centuries ago and who is totally going to fucking explain that fact later.
Contrition creased Midori's brows.
It's a long story.
Doubtless. But this one just crested the 15K word count, and it's time to wrap things up already.
Mami hopped down, untucked her pencil, and drew a tiny series of images along the edge of Cygnus's last page. This time, the noise was not a slurp so much as a blorp, like the noise of a digestive biscuit, left a second too long in tea, breaking off and plopping back into the cup to sink into its caffeinated depths. Cygnus's outline roiled for a moment, as if remembering how to form his proper shape.
Well now, that was an experience I shan't soon forget, or wish to replicate.
He turned to the cage.
Thornquill.
Hello, Cygnus.
Thornquill grunted. Cygnus paused.
Actually, what am I supposed to say to you right now? I feel I'm supposed to have a speech prepared about all the things you've done, but I'm fresh out of words of wisdom.
Thornquill sank further into the collar of his cape.
Just leave me alone. Everything went wrong, okay? It was all supposed to be perfect this year, and then everything went wrong.
He caught himself.
I made everything go wrong. Even when I was trying to prevent it, I made it happen anyway. Guess I'll never be able to stop this cycle. I'm destined to always be trapped in this endless rotation of chaos and resetting to the status quo with me forever the butt monkey of these vapid attempts at comedy adventures.
Are you? Is he crying?
Midori's enormous feline behind hitting the ground made the entire landscape shudder.
Hey, my butt isn't that big. Wow, this author sucks.
Thorny,
Cygnus's tone softened.
I admit, when I transformed you into an alicorn, this wasn't quite what I had in mind for you to do with your powers.
This is your fault?
Yes, that's a conversation for later, I feel.
Cygnus hastily returned his attention to Thornquill and away from the fluffing up Sphinx.
This was meant to be catharsis and closure for you. It still is.
What's the point? It's all going to reset again. We'll end things on a reversion to the status quo. Everyone will go back to Ponyville. There'll be one last funny scene of me getting my comeuppance. And then maybe a post-credits skit with Scribbler saying she's never going to do this kind of thing again. Which she will, because she always does. We always do. It'll happen again next year, and I'll just have to endure it, I guess.
Now hold your motherfucking horses there, mister.
Mami paused.
Admittedly, given we're all ponies, I could have phrased that better.
Thornquill grudgingly swiveled to look at her.
What?
He asked dejectedly.
Just have to endure it? Excuse me for saying so, because I've been a fan of your narrator's work for ages, but fuck that!
Huh?
Seriously, fuck that forever. No pony has to endure a shitty situation just because they feel like they're obligated to. So you didn't exactly deal with your stress of being in a shitty situation in an altogether healthy manner.
You can say that again.
But that doesn't mean you have to give up and accept reality as it is.
What else am I supposed to do? The universe has spoken. I'm destined to live each April being comedy's punchline. With emphasis on the punching.
The universe can fuck off too. And destiny can fuck off. And fate can fuck off. And kismet can fuck off. And predestination can absolutely fuck off.
I'm sensing a theme here,
said Ilya mildly.
It's a nice sentiment. And I appreciate you trying to comfort me when I was attempting to turn you into books half an hour ago. But, seriously, what else am I supposed to do but accept that this is the way things are and will always be? No. I tried to beat the system. And I lost.
Fuck the system!
Fuck the system!
Starry punched the air.
What? Just because I'm cute and small means I can't like System of a Down?
And now I have to draw you in a leather jacket and lots of facial jewelry at some point, posed on a massive motorcycle. But that's for a later date.
I'm the fear! You need to make me look the part at least.
Starry, you're getting off topic,
Ilya chided.
Sorry, Ilya. I just really like the idea of her being able to draw to life anything she can imagine. I mean, how cool is that?
You realize you're already best friends with a number of authors who already write reality to match their whims, yes?
I know, but art is so much cooler. Scribbler won't use her meta running powers to make me anything cool because she says I can't be trusted with sharp objects. And the one time I asked Magpie, she wrote me into a fairy tale as an adorable princess. I don't need to look cuter. I am the fear.
Of course you are, dear.
Don't patronize me.
Wouldn't dream of it.
But an artist like Mami could draw so much cool stuff they wouldn't let me have. And as she worked with other artists, they could use all their meta art powers. Oh wow, can you imagine? So many possibilities! They're like endless!
Starry practically fizzed at the possibilities. Mami tapped her chin.
Actually, you may have just given me an idea of how to rectify this whole situation.
Rectify.
Ugh, Midori!
What?
mesmerized by these lines. I'm so high, I can't lie, mesmerized by